Welcome, everybody. Today, I am going to talk about our LinkedIn networking and messaging strategies. I want to welcome everyone to this live learning event, and I will go through some slides, and hopefully this will make some sense to everyone. Our first agenda will be talking about networking basics, LinkedIn profiling concepts, how to research companies and individuals to target search efforts, building relationships, and how to reciprocate to keep LinkedIn momentum going. So first off, I'd like to talk a little bit about the hidden job market. Most people may not be aware that most jobs are found through networking. As you can tell from our slides, 75 to 80% are found in networking. This is a breakdown of how most people find jobs. First off, we have about 5 or 10% through the internet, which would be just cold emailing or applying online. 5 to 10% are done through recruiters, third-party recruiters, staff recruiters, agency recruiters, or corporate recruiters. 5% are done at job fairs or agencies. Job fair is a little bit thing of the past, but I would say mostly recruiters and just online job applications is how most people look for jobs these days. However, you can tell by the bottom figure where it says 75 to 80%, that is networking. And believe it or not, that is how most jobs are found, identified, applied to, interviewed, and accepted. There's also what we call the hidden job market, where 3 out of 4 jobs are not even posted. That is why networking is so important to start. And if you haven't started, we can talk a little bit about that. But how do you network? What are the best practices? Because that's where the jobs are really found. Jobs that aren't posted online, but are actually found just making those personal connections. So how do you network? There's 3 levels of networking that we'll talk about today. A, B, and C. So A are contacts on LinkedIn that you already have a connection to. You have a direct connection, we call those first level contacts. And those are the people that are really going to go to bat for you when needed. I would say if you have a large network, and large, we say at least have 500 people. Those are the best way that you can get in front of hiring managers, recruiters, decision makers, and that's who you should focus on. B is bridging contacts. So people you may not have a first level connection with, but you may have a second level connection, meaning you know someone who knows them. That way, we can talk a little bit about how you can get introduced to the decision makers when you bridge these contacts. And then C is the can hire contacts. So who's in charge of those decisions? Is it the recruiter? Is it the hiring manager? Who do you need to speak to who can put you in front of the right people? So start with who you know and work from there. Strive to identify decision makers and make sure that those are the people that you actually try to reach out to. We call them AIR conversations. So we have advice, information, and referrals. AIR. When you're looking to introduce yourself, you can start with asking for one of these items: advice, information, and a referral. I touched a little bit on the first level, second level, and third level connections in the last slide, but now we can go into more depth. So the first level connections, again, are the people that you know directly. Second level connections are people who your connections are connected to or in a group. And then the third level connections are you have no direct connection to any of these people. However, you may be part of the same group, the same networking group. You may follow the same company. You may like the same items that you see posted in the feeds. So these are the people that really can open up your network to new opportunities. I would say start with the first level first, and then move on to the second. And then if you still are not making headway, think about who at the company has titles that you would like to target. So aim for 250 plus connections. The goal is to get 500, but try to at least get 5 or 6 a week, and soon you'll see they're building up quite quickly. Reaching out on LinkedIn, how should one do that? So here are the pros and cons to how to reach out. Or I should say, here are the choices of how to reach out. So a connection request, obviously, that's the first time. And if you have premium, it will make your life a lot easier by asking for connection requests. But with a connection request, you can just invite anyone. Is it too forward? It depends. Recruiters, when you're connecting with recruiters, I would say that's what their job is. So don't feel like you can't connect with them. They should want to connect with you, especially if they have an opening that is in your wheelhouse. But always customize your email and make sure that it's reading the way it should. The same way you would optimize your LinkedIn or your resume, you want to optimize your InMail, your connection request message. That way, once they read it, they will identify immediately how you can help them or they can help you. But you do want to make that point fairly quickly. InMails are things that you'll get with premium. So those are direct and easy. With a connection request, you have to wait for them to accept your connection before emailing them. You can email them a short message, but you won't be able to attach your resume or do anything in depth without an InMail. Oops. If you only have basic version, you could do the message via a group. This way you would join a group and message someone within the group once you get accepted. That's actually a good way to do things, and you can talk about something in common you have within the group. Not a bad idea if you don't have premium or if you run out of InMails. You are only allowed a certain amount of InMails per month. And it depends on what type of level subscription you have with LinkedIn. But think about what you want to say in that InMail. You can use AI to draft a good InMail based on what type of job you may be targeting, who you know. So think about what you want to say and really tailor that based on the person you're writing to. Researching, who do you want to find? So when you're looking on LinkedIn, I always start with the company I'm targeting. I look for the people that work there. I look for any jobs that I'm interested in. And then when I reach out to somebody, I always want to give them as much information as I can about what I need or what I'm looking for. This way, they don't have to do too much work when they're trying to help you. So especially with a recruiter, you always want to ask them, or I would say you want to attach the job description to the InMail message. Make sure you're including your own email and your phone number. That way, when they try to reach back out to you, they can do so quickly. If they need to call you, they can. But giving them as much information about not only the job you applied to, but why you're a good fit. What about this job appeals to you? Ideas for connecting. There's a few things. LinkedIn groups, we talked about joining groups. How to message for approaching a stranger. Brief chat. Give them an opportunity to set up a few minutes to chat with you. And then have some talking points. 5 talking points is ideal. That way, if you don't get through them, at least you'll have some idea of what you want to talk about. Calendly is a great resource. It allows you to send your Calendly link and the person can set up some time with you without all the back and forth emails. Emails may get lost, time is wasted. If you have a Calendly account, it will link to your calendar. So when the person sets up time, it will automatically sync. That way you have it scheduled, you don't have to worry about it. This makes it easy for both sides. Here's a template for messaging a stranger, but again, make sure that you tailor it to the job that you're interested in talking about. Again, you can use some sort of AI portal to upload the job description. It will give you a guideline to how you want to approach somebody regarding the job. So make sure you tailor this for every job you're targeting. You do not want a standard letter sent out to everyone. And then the 5 talking points we mentioned, 15 minutes is plenty. You can ask them or tell them what type of position that you feel you're suited for. Try to make it more about them than you. People do like to talk about how their successes are going. So if you can ask again for any advice, information, referrals, those are the things that will get you more feedback than anything else. And here's a slide just about LinkedIn. If not everyone knows by now, there are different pricing. With the free account, there's no in-mails. So you can't in-mail directly to somebody. With the career pricing, I believe it's $40 a month. You get 5 in-mails. And with the Business Plus, I don't know how much that is. It could be upwards of $80 a month. You get 15 in-mails. There's also a commercial use limit. So if you don't have premium, it's going to make it that much harder to reach out to anybody. They limit how many peoples you can request to network with. So when you send connection requests, you're limited on how many a month. And then the other benefit of this is you can see with premium, you'll be able to see whether career or business plus, who's looking at you. So who's looking at your profile? Where are they located? Are they recruiters? Are they hiring managers? This will give you an in to actually make conversation if you can, if you see who's looking at your profile. Again, online skills training comes with premium, which is LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning is great. You can do upskilling, you can find out what's new in your industry, you can get LinkedIn certifications, which you'll be able to post on your profile. I think LinkedIn Learning is a huge benefit to premium. And probably one of the reasons why most people use it, other than the networking. The LinkedIn Learning really helps with where you are in your job search. And now we talk about the reciprocation of LinkedIn, engaging in your network. So making posts, writing an article, liking, commenting, sharing, conversations, all of this is going to help your feed get more visibility. And that is why having so many network connections is important, because you want to make sure that you're getting as many likes, comments, shares, posting every week, talking about what resonates with you, what's happening in your industry, what's new and improved. These are the things that people will read and be drawn to your profile. I would say make sure you're constantly active in LinkedIn, whether that's joining new groups or communicating with others, even commenting on other pages of your connections. Just little things like that will keep you in front of the audience. And that is very important when you're searching for work. You constantly want people to be drawn to your profile. There's also groups. If you search by job title, you can find any group. I would say join as many groups as you can. Within the groups, you will find other like-minded people who you can connect with, share thoughts, sharing articles. All of this is a great way to keep your visibility in front of your network. So what action steps will you take? Think about what we talked about today. And I would say do a little bit of different types of networking every day. Not just applying directly to jobs online, but you do want to make sure the networking is at least 70% of your day, with 30% online job applications. That's called the 70-30 rule. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you for listening today, and I'll see you on the next webinar.